Thank you so much for being part of this session. I now invite Vishakha, who is a social science researcher, a TIS graduate, and doing tremendous amount of work in the space of ecology, sustainability, education, many such areas, to introduce our next speaker and take forward the session. Namaste, Vishakha.
Namaste. Namaste. And namaste to all the esteemed speakers, guests, and all the participants joining us today from different parts of the world. I once again welcome you to the online symposium on traditional knowledge systems organized by Anadi Foundation. And we are delighted to have today with us for this session Dr. Sushila Madan. I would introduce her. Dr. Sushila Madan is currently a professor of computer science at the prestigious Lady Shri Ram Dare College, part of Delhi University. She has also taught at several other universities across the globe. Dr. Madan is an expert speaker on subjects like cybersecurity, cyber laws, e-governance, and has chaired various sessions across conferences and symposiums. To her credit are also many research papers and books on various subjects in the computer science domain. She's a fellow of various professional bodies and is also on the advisory board of IGI Global, Bureau of Indian Standards, and others. She has been conferred with the Stree Udyami Award by the Gandhi Darshan Samiti and Distinguished Women Award from the Venus International Foundation. Dr. Madan is also the honorary secretary of Ekal Sansthan, the R&D wing of Ekal Vidyalaya movement, which is the focus point of today's conversation. Ekal Vidyalaya, or one teacher schools, are run in more than 1 lakh remote rural and tribal villages across India to provide free, non-formal and functional literacy to children. It runs on an activity-based pedagogy, and a strong emphasis is given to the inculcation of human values, which we also discussed through previous sessions. Ekal Vidyalaya is educating a little above 21 million students across India. The Government of India presented its highest award for service organization, the Gandhi Peace Prize for the year 2017, to the Ekal Abhiyan Trust for its contribution in providing education for rural and tribal children. How a volunteer-driven movement which was started in the tribal villages in the year 1988 has become one of the largest initiatives in the world is something we can all learn from. We are honored to have with us today, ma'am, and we are eager to gain insights from your work with grassroots education with Ekal Vidyalaya. So without further delay, I welcome you to this session and I hand it over to you. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Vishakha. I feel after seeing two presentations from Professor Jacob and Anadi Foundation, the ma'am given, I feel everyone is doing the best of their best. And I think more is less. Still, there is so much to do. So I would like you to allow me to share my screen.
Yes,
kindly please allow me to share my screen.
Yes, ma'am. You are the co-host now.
Is it okay? Great.
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Finally. So this I've already talked about the Gandhi mission for self-reliant villages that built a strong nation. So I'm moving forward to this. This also I spoke about. Now, this is the Ekal story. I hope if we all know about Vivekananda ji. It's a story that India wants to share with the world. And it's inspired through the Vivekananda philosophy that if a child cannot go to the school, school must reach to the village, must reach to the child. So their education, actually India is of more than 6.5 villages. And the literacy part is considered to be, if our rural and tribal areas are literate, then we say that we have literacy up to this %. But it was grown because of Ekal efforts. So the vision is to facilitate the process of socio-economic sustainable development of villages based on the concept of social and gender equality. What is the Ekal journey is all about? It's basically based on Ekal Vidyalayas, where one teacher, one school is the key, and it's considered to be Gram Shiksha Mandir. Gram Shiksha Mandir means in one village, there could be, it's a asset-free education. It can be under a tree, it can be on the premises of the sarpanch or the mandir, anywhere. So it's a one village, one teacher concept, and 25 to 30 students and 3 to 10 years. It's a flexible 3-hour school timing, depending on when the kids are free. And school runs in Chopal or under a tree asset-free education. Ownership is taken by the Gram Samiti. In Gram Samiti, we have different hierarchy that happens to be in the villages. So what is the concept? Concept is, what do we want in villages? It's basically we want to literate them. So we say it is Shikshit Gaon. We want to be them aware of government policies and whatever is happening in the country and how they can avail the best of it. And it is the awareness that led to the when there was a that current note bandi happened. All villages were able to do the transactions online, and it was just because of the Ekal initiative that they could do the online transactions. They know what is the e-payment systems. So how to be swasth gaon, how to be healthy. So what all we do, that I'll let you know later. Surakshit gaon, how to be safe. We do teach little kids good touch, bad touch, about their menstruation cycle, about how to safeguard themselves. Then we have Vyasan Mukt Gaon, means liquor free. The major problem observed initially was that they used to have liquor and they never used to work. So how to have that liquor free village, we worked on that. Then how to have the harmony in each village. Then how to have this, it's not important, it is very important to be self-reliant, and self-sustainability is the major key. And how they need to be together. The family of feeling, family feeling that we are able to develop because of their satsang and Shri Hari satsang and kirtan. So why I say it is a 5-fold education, because it is the basic education we provide them, and then we have healthcare education, and because most of the girls were observed to be anemic, and how to have a kitchen garden, and then the basic communication by the doctors to the women or to the girls of villages. It helped a lot that anemic percentage was reduced to 90%. So how to have the empowerment education, where our technology comes in. Village development, how to have how to do the farming in a best way, that they can get the fruits from their farming, and how to have the various how to develop their entrepreneurship in the villages, and how they can communicate with the online and to the world rather than to the metropolitan cities of the country. Then ethics and value education. Value education comes from our yoga system, that what Gurukul is doing. And ethics is basically taught from in the school itself. And whenever you go to any of Ekal villages, then they actually do they have those sanskars that you will observe when you go to a village. Then 5-fold, this is our Ekal 5-fold education. It's basically basic education includes reading, writing, and basic arithmetic, general knowledge about the weather, about the rivers, about the stars, about animals. Then the craft and creativity. they are being taught to play different kinds of games. Then healthcare education is about personal hygiene, sanitation, then nutrition and home remedy. There are books basically developed by the Karyakartas, those who have devoted their life in the villages and observed what kind of flowers and plants and leaves that can help them to have, to maintain their health. It's just, I'm giving you one example that one of the, Ayurveda person from the Ekal who is doing 100%, devoting time to the Ekal villages. So we generally have tulsi experience that, we put in tulsi and we boil it, or we are not supposed to chew it. The flavor comes when you just have a ready tea or hot water, and then you keep it for a minute or so, and then you take out those leaves. Then actually you get the fragrance, and it actually works on your system. So some small certain things you tend to learn that in healthcare education, that how to cook a dal even. So disease identification. It was initially observed that no kid is having spectacles. So it's not that the case that they have 100% with their vision is 6/6. So then comes into telemedicine and eye care. Those sessions are conducted very, very regularly to most of the villages. And doctors from even AIMS or practitioner doctors from the government hospital and private hospitals, they come forward and they do the needful. And health awareness that I spoke about, that how to have the kitchen garden, and they do the farming basically, not adulterated khat system. So development education is basically organic farming, tree plantation, skill development, skill in terms of sewing, in terms of IT, in terms of how to make pickles, in terms of how to have the skill for entrepreneurship. Then they have digital education and cottage industries. Their product goes to cottage industries now. So empowerment education is basically, they didn't know how to file the RTI. So it was also a special effort made for the villages that they should know how to fill up the RTI. Then there is a Panchayat Raj, they can question their rights. Then what are the government schemes that are to be applicable? We sensitize them, and how the funds need to be, audited and made the expenses dependent wisely, that we educate them. Then what is their constitutional right? They should not be, marginalized by the people of higher authority or so. So voting awareness, that they need to vote. And how to have safeguard their environment, that is also an important issue. So in ethics and value education, this is the fifth one. What we do is we do the cultural awareness. Then major problem was they used to be, they have sharab addiction. So how to special efforts were made to to de-addict them by means of kirtan and Shri Hari Satsang, and in various means, and educating them. So there is Ram and Krishna Katha ayojans are there. Then daily, weekly satsangs are there. Then Shri Hari Mandir video Rath is also there, where they are being taught to our ancient wisdom and knowledge. So I say it is a volunteer-driven movement. There are more than 53,000 teachers are there, and more than 1.5 million students are there, and 6,500, more than now 6,500 full-time volunteers. So urban volunteers are also there, and rural volunteers are also there. So urban volunteers, they do visit, and they do we have Ekal Sansthan as one of the wing, where we do R&D, and we do make the policy statement, and we analyze and what all further could be done in villages and in rural and tribal, how the auditing need to be done, whether it is actually working at the grassroots level, whatever policies are made and whatever expenses are made are happening or not. So it is very easy and very cheap to have adoption of the villages is hardly 20,000 or so. So anyone can adopt a village, and they do nurture whosoever is the adoption is doing, and we do take care of the salary of the acharya. Acharya is basically mostly they are female teachers, and they work primarily into teaching, and they are from the same dialect as wherever the village is. They are not from the different village or so. So Abhiyan organization is basically working with the support of Ekal National Support Organization called Friends Tribal Society, Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation, and PLSP. It is basically Bharatiya Lok Seva Parishad. And then we have state voluntary organization at block level. And then there is a policy formulation of and R&D training and capacity building and PR and advocacy that we hold meetings every twice in a month, and we deliberate on certain issues, and then we have certain we organize talks, and we call people from ministry or from expert in certain areas, and then we discuss, and then we make the policy statement and we give it to the ministers, the existing government. And then we have developmental organizations, the Gramothan Foundation, Arogya Foundation, and Shri Hari Satsang. So they nurture each rural and tribal village in India, basically. So they have the specific jobs to do. So we have certain, these are the Ekal Abhiyan bodies that work on it that I have already discussed. What is FTS? It was formed in January 1989 and raising the resources and running Ekal schools in eastern, western, and southern region of India. Then we have Ekal Bharat Lok Shiksha Parishad. It was formed in March 2000. It's raising the resources and running Ekal schools in northern regions of India. So they all work in the coordination with Ekal Sansthan. And that's how the hierarchy is being made. Then we have Ekal Foundation of India. It was again formed in the December 2000, and they raise the resources for abroad and from abroad. Basically, US is the main, but otherwise many countries are now that I'll list them later. Running Ekal schools, and they do adopt villages, and they do have the deliberation on how to make the curriculum rich. So that's their part. So schools in other parts are also opened. Shri Hari Satsang Smiti, that is basically, we have Ekal Gram Sangathan, that is duly organized to raise the resources from the villages and town and carry out the field operations in inculcate the ownership and local communities. So we do have visits from the metropolitan cities to the villages. Then we have Shri Hari Satsang, that imparting values and moral education aimed at de-addiction, social harmony, and promoting cultural heritage. So then we have Arogya Foundation, AFI. It was formed in 2003, and it raising resources and running the rural health services throughout the whole of the rural India. Then we have Ekal Gramothan Foundation. So how to have create a vermi post about do the farming, about the soil testing. It is basically a cluster of 100 villages and one Ekal Gramothan Foundation. So it is basically to empower the organic farming activities. Then we have Ekal Sansthan, that where I am working. So it is basically research and development. It is basically research and development under Ekal Abhiyan only. And then we have Ekal Global Foundation, that to strengthen the Ekal, we have Ekal chapters globally in across many countries, and of course it is linked with the Indian our own system, where the accounting and everything has been made. Then we have how this Ekal Gramothan Foundation works. So this is to tell to convey that Gramothan Foundation is basically a vision is to strengthen the rural Bharat through skill education, cow-based agriculture. In cow-based agriculture, what we do with the help of dung, we make incenses, we make diyas, fire logs. They are made. That's another wing of Ekal that works on. And agricultural based rural entrepreneurship, its mission is to make villages self-reliant, make agriculture profitable and self-sustainable and self-empowered for the rural growth. So basically, the Gramothan Resource Center, what I have spoken about is basically about this part only, that we have sewing machines that to be taught to the women how to do the stitching and how to do the, then they can sell and they can be self-reliant. And then many of them are being taught about the computer, because about the software programs and everything. So under this also, that Ekal on Wheels concept is also there. It was observed that after passing their schools, they have all sorts of education, but they are not fully aware of how to work on a computer system, so that they can, if they want, they can have a job, or they can work on e-shopping, e-commerce systems that can be easily work on. So it was very thoughtfully designed, the vans, which stays for 4 hours in a village, and van was designed with certain computer systems. Initially, it was just one was designed, and then it was replicated to same model was replicated to nearly 80 or 83 now. Such vans where they can learn MS Office, they know how to work on Microsoft system basically, because that is majorly used everywhere, and how to work on e-commerce system. And this Ekal Gramothan Resource Center is also organizing the Arogya Foundation for the betterment and the remedy of residing villages of India, that how to have the better health, how to stop the anemia, how to detect their problems, and how to test their BP. And otherwise, earlier we used to say that those people don't, when I can share it with you, when we used to, there was fluctuation in light. Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can hear you now, ma'am.
Okay. So it was observed that there is a list of projects that are working on Arogya Foundation. Somehow my system is showing that it is.
We are able to hear you, but your video is not proper. I mean, there's no light in your video.
There was a fluctuation. I connected with from the mobile as well. So should I speak on?
Yes, ma'am. Please continue. We can hear you.
Okay.
Your screen is not shared though.
It is. Then I'll have to add the hotspot actually. Should I do that, or should I speak on?
Yeah, you can continue speaking, ma'am.
Okay. So I was just sharing that when around 20 years back, when we used to visit to the villages, then they used to say, "हमारे यहाँ पे कोई problem ही नहीं है." There is no health issues ever in the villages because of their fresh air and whatnot. People die if there is some animal attack is there, or if their bone is some broken or so, otherwise they don't have any problem and they can rectify it without that too. So now, because of, I think it is the mobile culture which has begun, and the problems have started happening. So that is I feel then there is a need of, now the solution lies in whatever is the problem maker. So only using phone we can have the solution to it, that how to connect to a doctor and how to have the facility of uh, disease being getting detected and how to have the cure for it. So then there is a sanskar shiksha, that we have sanskar attendees are nearly more than 2 lakhs or so last year, and there is 1 day assembly, and one katha attendance is it whenever it happened, um, it was quite high. It was nearly, I think, 6 lakhs of people attended Shri Hari Mandir Rath Yatra. So to add to the communities, it was our how to form a community with the same vibration and with the same wavelength and same mindset. I think during our freedom fighting, this was one of the uh, area where people used to have katha and satsang, and then people come together during that time, and then they share their own consent and concepts regarding the issues. So coming back, Ekal model is basically committed to promote the cultural, social, economic, and educational upliftment of Banvasi brothers and sisters. So we all are basically in one umbrella of brothers and sisters, and the main problem is that how to audit such systems. So we do have the system in place for that too. So we believe in Gram Swaraj. Gram Swaraj is basically um, awareness about the government welfare schemes, about the constitutional duties and rights. This I have already discussed. So we are registered as a charity organization in America, in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Thailand, Nepal, and France. And we have support group in various countries: UAE, Oman, Hong Kong, Italy, Norway, Netherlands, Germany, Singapore, Denmark, Sweden, and Egypt. And we have various activities that I have discussed just now. Now, I did talk about the Ekal on Wheels. We have training centers, we have skill development centers, we have telemedicine, we have Arogya Resource Center. Now, how do we, Ekal Vidyalayas are now supplemented with e-Shiksha. So half an hour given to each student using tablets, and whatever content has been prepared, that is showed to them for better learning. The reason being, it was observed that what is the gap between in rural and tribal and metropolitan kids. It was just that the E part was missing in the rural and tribal areas. So we tried to bridge that gap using tablets and giving them the content on, so that seeing and listening from their teacher, their acharya, will enhance their learning ability. And it was, whenever I went to villages, I observed that they, if you ask 19 table, they know by heart, and they have certain way of greeting. They play games based on their yoga. So they know they know much more than otherwise than metropolitan schools kids. So it was a great learning from them, and their how to safeguard their water. So they have water pits basically. They dig 5 feet, 5 feet long gadda basically, and then they put certain um, stones and then they put a picture which is already broken a bit from the center. And whatever rainwater they do, how do the rain harvesting? Basically, the water goes into that pitcher and then it starts seeping into the earth. So it's nothing gets wasted, and there is no, so they should not be post water, and the mosquitoes should not develop, right? So they have the soak pit, and the water goes back to the earth. So you will find in Ekal villages, most of villages have good amount of greenery. So we do focus then about the patriotism, not only health and hygiene, but so Ekal has decided to basically have the Pragat Sanchis, that this five-fold education has been, in high strength, it should be given. So I would like to convey that this Gram Swaraj Yojana is basically connected with the government Yojana also. It is in the same lines, and we do that we say that that it is a full-fledged village if there are minimum 10 to 15 houses are there with the organic nutritional garden, and at least 10 to 15 families should have organic farming. And we say that it is a Pragat Sanch which has come out well in every region. If we say that there is a cottage industry in each house. So we make sure that there should be a Jan Dhan scheme, that's a government scheme. It should be there very much in each village. And there should be enrollment of insurance of head of each family under Prime Minister Jeevan Jyoti Insurance Scheme and Prime Minister Suraksha Insurance Scheme, and the issuance of Aadhaar card to each villager. So there is the Shri Hari Katha Prasar Yojana, which works on to organize weekly satsang in each village and organize 3-day katha in every village every year. And they unite in by doing the satsang. So then we have Ekal Sansthan that I've already spoken about. That way, the deliberation happens at the head level of Ekal Sansthan, which I am also part of it. So it is basically we do Ekal Study Circle meets. The Ekal Study Circle meets is basically an open-ended platform for exchange of ideas and debate and discussions. We share the best practices from the different corners, and we create a bank of ideas and rural innovations directly from the grassroots, and advocacy for the cause of rural and tribal development. So how do? We associate with professional and conviction to serve the rural Bharat. We do involve other NGOs and social enterprises and rural entrepreneurs and rural technologies and incubation of hubs. And we do involve our youth of college students or to the from various universities. And we do try to involve the office goers that, what is their corporate social responsibility under that scheme. We do give the presentations and we educate them. Then they are interested to move to visit those villages. And we, under Dream India Tour, we take them to the villages. So India, this Ekal could fight against the COVID-19. So we had various awareness programs online. So the success rate was pretty high, that there was less of battles, there in the villages. So we distributed food packets, we distributed ration packets, we had cow feeding, we had face masks was distributed by the villagers themselves. They were so motivated and they were feeling for each other. So funding is basically another part. No support from the government, all individual donors, some funding from companies under CSR, and almost 1/3 from Indian diaspora abroad,
and less than 10% is at administrative expenditure, as the organization is basically volunteer based. So anyone can join, anyone can visit, anyone can be a part of it, and anyone can own a village. So we had Gandhi Peace Prize presented by the President and Prime Minister of India. This was the major award in 2017. And Ekal vision is basically there should not be any migration of villagers from villages. It should stop to the metropolitan cities. So by creating better opportunities at village level, that is our concern. So Ekal audits, no study we say that it is the good or better or best, depend if there are no external audits. So Ekal impact study has been accessed by third party visits. That is, one is Tata Dhan, they did it, and we have all the reports. Then aspiring minds, sea voters, and internship holders, and internal visits we do quite often. See voters, I hope you know that they do election analysis. Aspiring minds is basically they conducted the same at the village level and the Delhi leading schools like DPS, Sanskriti and all, and then they compared their value system and their mathematics. Then this is all about I had to say. So thank you so much. If there is any question, I'm ready to take.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing this wonderful presentation with us. It was very interesting to know about the Panchamukhi Shiksha model for the integrated village development to give a holistic education to the children in these villages across India. I now open the floor for questions. Please share your questions for Professor Madan.
First of all, let me apologize for this technical crunch. Though I'm a technical person, I should have already done on the mobile hotspot. I never knew that it will create a problem. So sorry for this.
No issues, ma'am.
I have already shared my PPT with you. Anybody is interested can go through it.
Thank you, Sushila ma'am, for the wonderful presentation. All of us here at Anadi have great appreciation for the work that happens through Ekal Vidyalayas and Ekal Abhiyan as such. We have had volunteers in the past visit our ashram. We've met Manjushri ji in Delhi, and then we have had the local volunteers also visit here. One question that I had was the key to success of any educational ecosystem is, of course, the teacher or the person who facilitates the learning. So what kind of initiatives are taken to keep them motivated, to identify them, and how is it taken forward?
So we have something called Masik Varg Abhyas. So every month there is a 3-day program for the acharyas to give them awareness and to know their problems and the kind of curriculum we are changing or developing, we give them the training. And the focus is basically that acharya is basically is different from a teacher. Acharya is to whom you actually a student can follow. So how they have to be in a role model, it is basically training on that. And if you see them, they sing so well. They are so down to earth, and they're so benign. I can't tell you. When you see them, you feel like hugging them. So we have training programs for all the teachers, yes, acharyas.
A word here. This is probably the most selfless way to preserve our peoples itself, if not anything less than that. And I don't know if I missed the point, but what is understood is that a huge chunk of conversion has been stopped because of Ekal Vidyalayas. It's a massive, massive efforts by limited number of people in untold ways. Hats off to Ekal Vidyalayas for being so effective in doing this.
all credit goes to the founders, Professor Shamgupji, who took the initiative. And there are people, those who they left their they were in US and they left that place and came back to the India, and this actually to understand their problems and to develop the curriculum, they stayed in villages, and then they could devise the curriculum initially. Nache Kude Khele Khaye. That is basically the one book that basically teaches how one should learn and what all is required to be learned by a child.
Yeah. And the reason I kind of came up with that point is everything that we have been mentioning here, minus our cultural ethos, is provided by those who tend to convert, right? So it's not just their economy or their rootedness, it is also our culture that Ekal Vidyalaya has preserved rather than it's wonderful. So great to know everything that you're doing. Whatever I've heard is in bits and pieces, but this comprehensive presentation kind of gave a beautiful picture of what all Ekal Vidyalayas have been striving to do. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And thanks to our ministers that they have made the roads, I mean, free flowing, seamlessly flowing roads to all the villages, and anyone can visit with their cars, and I mean, you can see whatever has been happening. So anyone who is interested to experience it are most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, and also for the generous invitation to visit and see the work being done by the organization across India, and also with the volunteers across the globe. That's truly remarkable. Thank you so much for your time today, and we hope to continue associating with you in the future as well. Thank you so much. Also, so we would now be breaking for lunch. We would again resume the sessions at 1:15 p.m. We have some great sessions lined up on the other side of the break. So request everyone to please join us again on the same Zoom bridge. And we'll continue with this wonderful conversation that we're having today on Indigenous education.
Thank you.